Hey, what is going on, crypto people? What I don't know. I don't understand what's going on with this market right now. I mean, it's what's going on right now. It's just sideways movement. I was listening to my guy, high altitude investing today. He was like, what are you guys talking about? He said Bitcoin has been on an uptrend since the beginning. That's interesting. That is an interesting way to look at it. Very interesting way to look at it. So anyway, look, I'm going to do a late night video here with you guys. I'm going to go over some stuff from Crypto X, from Vet, talking about some stuff I think is important to kind of go over just a little bit. Um, oh, it's great to see one of the largest gainers is IX Swap, RWA play that I share with you guys, up 50%. Interesting. 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 All right, so let's get into this. What we're going to do, we're going to go over the market. We'll go over the numbers because the market is just doing what it does. I'm going to refresh this for you guys. Yeah, it's just doing what it does, guys. This is XRP Ripple Daily News and around 0 to 10 minutes. Let's get into it. The total cryptocurrency market cap is 2.52 trillion. It's up 2.8% in 24 hours. The Bitcoin dominance is at roughly 51%. Bitcoin is trading at $65,157 again. Ethereum is trading at $3,182 again. Solana is trading at $151 again. And XRP is trading at 52 cents again. The market is just doing what the market does. Don't be fooled by these green things. It's just green stuff. But it is good to see over here the largest gainer is IX Swap. We shared that on the channel. It's RWA play up 51%. That's interesting. Let me take a look at that real quick. I don't know how long we've had that long thing. That's not a bad chart. 19x for the year, 53% on 30 days, 24 hours, 51%. Interesting. Polygon. I think that's where I ended up getting it on Polygon. Anyway, that's the market. It's just doing what it freaking does, fam. Let me go over some of the stuff on X here because I really want to cover Vet's post because I think it's kind of important to note. Coins Kid. I don't know. For my money, Coins Kid is just his TA guy. He seems to me to be the one who's kind of who gets it right, most of the time. It kind of feels like that to me. It really, really does as far as the TA perspective thing. So he says, I was spot on with this way back in October last October, I can see, man, a vertical in the Bitcoin chart. Are we about to see the third wave for altcoins, aka alt season? I have shown the perfect setup for this going forward. You may have my invalidation points. Stay tuned. So I guess in October, this is what he said. I'm looking at Bitcoin, confirming a third wave by taking out the July high. At that point, I think it will run hard, possibly vertical, taking out the all-time high. So he was spot on. We'll see if I wait for a pullback, zigzag correction, then the final wave of the blow-off top. I'm looking at July. Obviously, that would be July of 2024. Seems to be just about spot on as Coins Kid do. Interesting stuff. So Panos put this out in response to Rap Economist's post. He says, I hope people realize that a good UX has value. People will pay for simplicity and the burdens. Pay attention to that phrase, pay. People will pay for simplicity in a burdensomely complex world. Panos reposted that and said this. The best incentive for users is great UI slant UX. The industry, especially the XRPL ecosystem, has a big need for good apps that simplify the access to this amazing technology and its features and capabilities. Make it as good and simple as using any other app on your phone. And I agree with that for the most part, but ultimately, it's what needs to be created. The priority should be what does the market want? What is it that the market wants? Like the thing with this great UI is it something that the market wants, like DeFi, like yield, like passive income. Those are the things are most important, right? You don't want a great UI and great UX for an app that teaches you how to make a potato gun, but it looks pretty. It's got great UI and great UX, right? Yeah, let's get what the market wants first. Let's get what the market wants. And I would niche that down to the crypto market. Let's get what the crypto market wants, and then do some UI and UX stuff around around that. Some are you gonna come and say, "Oh, that goes without saying." Really? Does it? It's cross-border payments. There's cross-border payments, and there's DeFi. Let you think about that for a second. CypherCat said this: Bitcoin high fees are what's being acquired. Then this CypherCat has been a guy who's been talking a lot about Bitcoin Cash. He says Bitcoin high fees are what's being required by those hosting infrastructure. It's not that people deserve high fees, it's that there is not enough of you supporting it for fees to be lower. This is very much similar to what the guy who created the Runes protocol, which was the guy who created the ordinals, was saying. The reason why he did Runes was really about not necessarily real world utility, but it was about bringing more people onto the network, which is what we've been saying for the XRP community for a long time. If you want your asset, the price of your asset to go up in value, you got to create network adoption. It's all about network adoption, right? And so the way for there to be more of you supporting it, question mark, bigger blocks, not custodial banking apps. So this bigger block thing, it's going to come up again. You remember back way yonder with Bitcoin Cash, that the reason why the Bitcoin Cash kind of happened was because there was this kind of argument, disagreement, debate, if you will, about how to solve some stuff. And, it was, but we need bigger blocks. And next, we got Bitcoin Cash and some other stuff. So I think that is going to come up again. It is currently 48,940x more expensive to transact on Bitcoin. That's from CypherCat, which is interesting to me because in the end, to me, it's, oh no, what happened there? To me, it is, I don't know why that does that. It is all about utility, right? It is always going to be about utility. And since this is technology, it's going to get better. How much better? Now, a lot of Bitcoiners have rationalized. A lot of Bitcoiners have rationalized that we need Bitcoin to be expensive. We need there to be these high fees. They've rationalized the whole safety argument, the whole safety. Keep it secure, keep it, all that kind of stuff. But in the end, Runes protocols here, ordinals got here, inscriptions. That came eventually, right? It came eventually. Now the Runes protocol is going to be a different thing. And it's not going to be significantly better than the ordinals in the beginning. It's not going to be significantly better, right? It's just not going to be significantly better. So anyway, let's see here. I'm going to have to do this because it didn't work. So let's try this. Vet was responding to something. I think it's kind of important. We'll go over it. So this guy here, XRPL, hope I did okay with that, buddy. One of the things I can't get out of my head is these days is precisely this point from Vet. The XRP ledger is being updated with most of its services available in the core. In other words, right at the core. at the network level. So developers will not have the option to develop their services and charge for it because the core already does it in the cheapest way possible, right? And so these are one of these kind of you got to sacrifice some stuff to get some other stuff, right? So and they don't want to ever say it. They don't want to just say the truth, right? The XRP ledger is being updated with most of its services available in the core. Who's doing that? Like who's updating it? Who's right? Who just recently proposed the lending protocol at the layer one level? Was that Vet? Was that Panos? Was that DS? Was that Weedsay Win? No, it was the team at Ripple, right? The devs over at Ripple, right? And the challenge is, and maybe it'll get better, or maybe this challenge is great for the XRPL. I don't know. Currently, this Ripple X dev thing, they get up in the morning, they got to be somewhere in the AM. They get told when they're hungry and they get told when they get to go home, right? The vet and panels of the world, uh, they're in a different spot. They're in a different spot, right? You understand? These people over here, the Ripple X Dev, right? They don't have to worry about creating a product for services where there's a wholesale price and a retail price where they create something and they got a customer other that's paying them. I'm talking about the devs, right? They have a gig, right? Probably got some XRP for having a gig and probably got some shares in Ripple from having a gig. So I know we could say that that a thing is open source and anyone can do some stuff on it, but it still has to kind of go through that little gatekeeper. So anyway, I don't like beating around the bush because these guys are not saying it, but in the end, so it says here, so developers will not have the option to develop their services and charge for it. In other words, for them to make a living, because they don't have a gig at Ripple. You understand? Now you could argue that to try and get one, but that's the case. So developers won't have the option to develop the services and charge for it because the core already does it in the cheapest way possible. We have seen it with the NFT marketplaces. It is likely that we will see it in the AMMs. And I don't know what will happen with new topics such as loans. People who want to do businesses will need to add an experience or an addition to the service in order to make a profit and be able to monetize. And by those people are people like Panels, okay, who was created on those finance. All right, this is good for users who want to work along with the XRP ledger, but tremendously difficult for those who want to generate business because the solution already exists. What you need is an excuse for users to prefer doing it with you instead of by themselves. It says, what do you think? Because Vet says here, and I think this is interesting, he says, don't be afraid to monetize your product and service on the XRP ledger, either through subscriptions, a fee per transaction basis, or other models. That's interesting, right? And so this guy responded to that. But in the end, Vet agrees here. He says, look, agreed. Everything developed against the XRPL is basically an interface because the core has it all. And the reason why the core has it all is because of the Ripple X devs, right? So the only thing all projects differentiate themselves by their brand and UX UI, correct? We have to introduce friction to those who want to use the brand UI UX, can't afford free riding here. And someone posted something that I think is true. Most this guy Schlabby I Dev says more friction would simply scare people away now. We should aim to provide the least friction as possible. Bring the millions of users first. In other words, this whole back and forth about this pie, this quibbling, and some are getting bigger slices of this pie, and some are getting the crumbs of this pie, and kind of quibbling about that is not the answer. The answer is to increase the size of the pie. You got to increase the size of the pie. Bring the millions of users first, in my opinion, is a waste of time to debate on how to divide. Oh, that's what he says. A tiny little pie. And I responded 100%. Now, this guy says, totally agree about the friction. I don't know if he's responding to that or if he's responding to that. I don't know. Maybe he's responding to that. But that is the dilemma. And we'll get it all solved. We'll figure some stuff out. But I think it is about bringing the users in. And so, what we want to do is create products that the marketplace wants. Ripple has finally discovered this, and by the marketplace, we're talking about the crypto, the digital asset place, the digital asset marketplace, not outside of the ledger, on the ledger, inside the digital asset space. Create more products, and the people will come for sure. So it's great to see that Ripple's pivoted about a year, when they started talking about the 4 pillars and the tokenization and compliance and the ID and all that stuff, right? That's when they began to pivot, bringing more stuff on the ledger. And we will create network adoption, because in the end, the XRPL is awesome. It is amazing. It's great technology, right? Start some stuff. This lending protocol proposal, I think, is genius in motion. I believe Ripple will be the maker DAO of the XRPL. I really do believe that. I think they're going to leverage the stable coins once they get it up and going. The key for them, Ripple X, and the repeat team at Ripple, is they got to come correct with this incentives. They're going to have to come correct with that. They're going to have to come correct with some kind of airdrop thing, some kind of airdrop model. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Come correct. There's been a lot of case studies, whether it be points, whether it be airdrops, come correct. Okay, whether it be some TGE, token generation, just come correct, Ripple. Okay, come correct, David Schwartz, right? We want to create network adoption of the XRPL, which I believe is just genius, moving anything of value in 3 to 5 seconds or less than a penny. But it's going to take the bottom-ups work is going to work, Dave. We need more devs, Brad Kimes. Goodness gracious, right? The bottom-up approach is going to work for you, David Joel Katz. Promise you, it's going to work, because we're going to create network adoption. But you're going to have to do your part. Come correct with these incentives. Come correct. I'm excited about this lending protocol, because I know my guys at DexFi.pro, they're excited about it as well. Let's get this stablecoin up and going. Let's get it out there. And let's leverage this amazing technology around the AMM. And the smart devs will know that there's something about having these unique features at the protocol level. Let's take advantage of that. Let's leverage that to grow this ecosystem, to grow, right? We want to create network adoption. And we do our part by helping to create network adoption of the XRPL. And in doing so, it will create demand for the native asset of the XRPL, which is XRP, which is what we all want. This is why if Ripple is smart, you need to call me up, hit me up, Brad Garlinghouse, becoming the maker DAO of the XRPL. It's a genius in motion move. You can pull it off. It's a genius in motion move. Stable coin, governance token, backing this stable coin up with U.S. Treasury bills. You can be doing these T-bills and the whole 9 yards. Go ahead and go get your money. create some revenue, incentivize the retail people to hold that stable coin and utilize that stable coin and borrow against that stable coin. It's a great flywheel, guys. I hope you pick it up, bro. Hey, Brad. Hey, Brad Garlinghouse. I hope you pick it up, bro. Hope you pick up the Make It Doubt ethos. All right, fam. So there it is. This wraps up your XRP Ripple daily news in around 0 to 10 minutes. I hope that it has been of value to you. If it has, do me a favor and hit the like button. And if you've been hanging out watching the Crypto Seeds and you have enjoyed those hangouts, please consider subscribing to the channel. And don't forget to ring that notification bell, baby, so that you know whenever we go live or whenever we upload a video. I'm going to end this one like I do all my videos and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want you to win. They would rather that you and I remain a cog in their perpetual wheel of trading our time for dollars. They don't want us to play in the same playground that they play in, where we allow our money to work for us. This is our chance to win, guys. The digital asset space, it's our chance to win. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating or are you standing on the sidelines? Here's what I do know, that the battle for you has already been fought and the victory is yours. Go get it. I'll talk to you guys soon. See you. Bye.